There you go.
All right. Hey, like that last presentation, I was working with Kyril and Greg yesterday, but they weren't able to come in today. So I just wanted to make sure that they get some recognition, because they definitely did some help. We had a lot of great discussions. We all came in with no idea what we were going to work on this weekend, and I think we ended up with something pretty interesting. It's basically a mobile app. It's actually live right now on Heroku. You could go to democracydirect.herokuapp.com, but don't go there right now because I actually only have 2 user accounts set up and I'm using them both. So if like something could like go wrong, and I would, if anything does go wrong during the demo, I'd probably blame it on that. Basically, Democracy Direct is like a frictionless way to enable direct democracy between local government elected representatives and their constituents. And I would almost even call it agile democracy, because some of you might be familiar with like agile software development, and the idea there is to just tighten the feedback loops, right? And make sure that you're not just like working all by yourself, like where no one can see what's going on, and you're not getting this feedback. How Democracy Direct deals with that is by providing a constant stream of updates as to what your elected officials are actually voting on. And then you can compare those to your own feelings and opinions on the issues. So I'm just gonna go ahead and click through the app. It's kind of like a mobile app, where there's one view that the constituent has and one view that the representative has. So, right. So you can see here, this is what most of the people would be able to see, and you can see what issues your elected official is voting on soon. So if you're interested in computers, I am. You might check this out. There's a quick little description, a summary of the bill that the legislator gets to write up, but there's also a little provided thing. There's a link to the full text of the bill, and then you can vote as to whether or not you support the bill. And this is about increasing fines for computer crimes, and I'm a hacker, but I'm not a cracker, so I'm going to support it. And now you can see how your fellow constituents feel about this issue. You can see how you voted, and then you'll receive an alert when your representative votes on it, and then you can compare. Is basically the idea. And then what the representative can do is say, oh, here's some things that are coming up. They get to edit the description and also just add whatever they want, and then they can poll their candidates or their constituents. And then since I'm interested in the environment, I got that message. But what if I wasn't interested in that? This could end up being way too much information, and it could just annoy people if they kept 10 seconds.
We'll like to wrap it up.
So you can go through your keywords and change things. I don't want to see these environment posts, and then they'll be gone, right? Let me see. You can go back through previous bills. This is a really important feature. You can see how your elected official actually did vote, right? And then once he does vote, that'll get pushed out to you, and you can compare. And then the final feature, which I never got around to implementing, is a report card. So when it comes time to campaign season starts, instead of just trying to do all of this research then and not knowing where to even start, you can just you have this scorecard that will compare you to your representative and see how good of a match it is, and also your representative to the district as a whole, and then you can make more informed decisions. So, yeah.
There you go. Awesome. Thanks, Dominick. Any questions? Over here?
Did you code all this yourself in this weekend?
Yeah. Well, I'm using Backbone. It's Rails. I'm using the Foundation front end, which is it's just all of this beautiful responsive design for me. So and also Greg did a lot of the back end stuff with pulling down the bills from these terrible government APIs and search engines and stuff. So that was really helpful. But yeah, none of this we didn't have any idea what we were going to work on this weekend. So this is all the product of that. So.
Well, fantastic.
I was gonna ask about the actual data where you got the data from, and it sounds like you know what
Yeah,
APIs. So it's all actual live data that's coming in from the government APIs.
Yeah, eventually. Like this is real data, but right now it's not hooked up to an API. It's basically copy and pasted at this point into a seeded database. But
Cool.
you know, it all could be. And those APIs are just like so hard to use, and the search engines are so like just like really janky. And so like no individual is gonna want to do this. But if you had an app, like I would pay a lot more attention to politics.
All right, then we got Michael has a question.
Yeah, this is really cool. I was wondering if you had given any thought on how you might push this out to the actual politician. I mean, because part of it is part of their, I mean, they have part of the actual program for themselves.
Mm-hmm.
So are you going to like were you thinking of like creating a Facebook page? Were you sending out like a push email to some of these people and telling them to download it? Or did you give any thought to that kind of stuff?
Yeah, we had a lot of discussions like yesterday throughout the morning into the afternoon before we started building anything. And you know, one of the big concerns was how to get politicians on board with this, because basically the idea is that it would expose corruption. And so incumbents probably wouldn't actually may not want something like this to exist. But my thought was that if there's a challenger, a newcomer, they could see this as a tool where they're like, you know, I'm not from the system. I recognize that I could become corrupted. I want a tool that will help keep me from becoming corrupted, and this would do that. So they could campaign saying that they would use a program like this, and that would have to start at a grassroots level, which is why this isn't for you know, this is all local government stuff, and I think that's where it would have to start, but it could grow from there.
Right on. Great. Thank you so much, Dominic.